All right, we are live. We are live. Having a little bit of problems here with the screen today. It seems to be flickering a little bit. Um, Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Gary Bates in the house. How about a thumbs up, Gary Bates? Make some adjustments here. All right. Um. Oh, WCF Invader. Apparently today I'm worth a tonu and $6 a mile. Okay. All right. You can hear me? Okay. Good. I wanted to do this. I didn't decide to do it as a video or a live stream, but it seemed easier to do it as a live stream here today. There's some of the same old going on here. Uh, Even though times are tough, booking loads, getting good rates, um, so on and so forth. Um, but people are kind of up to the same old thing. So I know none of you guys would do this, but I wanted to talk about it because it's really, we have this mentality of all for one for all. But guess what? We're not all the same. And wanted to point that out here. And what I'm talking about is a lot of you know that I have a small brokerage here, and I occasionally post loads on the load board. And I wanted to share with you kind of the other side of some things, so you can see what I'm talking about. A lot of times, we all know there's bad brokers out there. Uh, there's honestly also um, trucking companies that are basically not capable of conducting business and thinking that they're worth the same amount of money as everybody else. So I wanted to illustrate that a little bit today. So let me open my email. So long story short, when I post a load on DAT, I'm one of those guys. I post everything about it because, having been on the other side of it for so long, I like to see information. I post the accurate locations. I post the rate. I post what time it picks up, the appointment times, what time it delivers, where and when, and how much it weighs, what it is, the temperature, everything about it. I put everything in the posting. So it's all right there. I also post my email. So some people don't like to call. I understand that. So I'll post my email address. And I wanted to share with you some of the responses I get. And these people believe they're worth the same amount of money as somebody else. So I'm trying to figure out, I need to share my screen here. Let's do this and do that. We're going to do entire screen. And I hope y'all can see this. Oops, that's a mess. Let me, oh boy, now I done, oh, okay, here we go. Now I done screwed things up. All right. This is my email that I use for the brokerage. Oops, I don't want it to take up the whole screen. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'm just going to open some emails here for one of the recent loads that I posted, right? And I'm going to teach you why this is unacceptable. So I posted a load here from where I don't know, Plover, Wisconsin to Gordonsville, Virginia. Everything about it in the posting. And here's some of the emails I get. Whoops, that's not what I'm looking for here. Um, where are we at? You would think I'd be prepared, right? So I had sent some of these to my partner Paul and said, Paul, this is kind of what we deal with every day. It's frustrating. So here I got an inquiry from a gentleman named Alexander. Alexander, I don't know. I'm guessing he wants to know about my load that I have posted and have all the information on. Here you can see it comes from Alexander to me. Subject line is Wisconsin to Virginia. Okay. What do you think? What's in the body of this email? MC884784. Okay. What do you want? You can't communicate to me what you want, but you're worth all this money, right? You are fundamentally incapable of doing business. A business transaction. Let me tell you why that's important. This is the first point of contact of you trying to engage with somebody. What impression do you want to leave? Because you're going to get back what you give. And what you'll get back from me is, how can I help you? Right? Tell me what you want. I get it. I understand what you want. I want to see what you're capable of here. Now, you've already established to me that you can't communicate, and you can't engage in a business transaction. So automatic to me, you know, this what you're worth thing, you're really worth not much to me. You've already shown you can't communicate. Right? So let's go on to a different one here, because this just gets better and better. Just gets better. All right, here we have an email from a Landstar agent, obviously trying to double broker my load, because that's what Landstar does. From a gentleman named David. Um, Subject line: Plover, Wisconsin to Gordonsville, Virginia. Um, David at least was kind enough to put a signature line in the email here. The body of the email says, "Thank you in advance." Thank you for what, David? Thank you for what? What do you want from me? What are you thanking me for? What did I do for you? What do you what are you trying what message are you trying to convey to me? Now, this is a Landstar agent. I would expect a hell of a lot more from a Landstar agent, especially if you're trying to double broker my load, right? What is this Landstar agent worth to me? Zero. Precisely nothing. Precisely nothing. Okay? I'll share one more here. There's more than I can even go through here, and it doesn't even matter, because you'll get the point of what's going on here. Let's go to this next one here. A gentleman named Max. Uh, Max, subject line: Plover, Wisconsin to Gordonsville, Virginia. Okay, I get it. Let's see what's in the body of that email there. Huh. Nothing. Nothing. You can't even put a hello? Tell me what you're asking? I obviously understand this is in regards to that load. What do you think you're going to get from me? Honestly, do you think I'm going to hold you in a high regard and think that you're going to tell me when you're arrived or loaded, or you're being delayed, or you're empty, or any problems with the load? How do you think I'm going to think you're going to care for my load and treat my customer when you can't put a single, not even a word, but not even a letter or a period in your email when you're asking? This is I hope to I say this and I show this because I hope to God that none of you are doing this and then going out and telling everybody you're worth $5 a mile. I'll tell you what these guys are worth: precisely nothing. You bring absolutely no value to this business transaction. Okay, don't do this. And I'm gonna get rid of this here. Let's stop sharing this screen and talk about it for a second. I'll get to your comments here in a second. And I I'm still primarily on the carrier side of it, right? That's my primary business. I broker out some extra freight that we get to help my customers out. That's it. Okay. Would like it to turn into a lot more. We're working on it. I have a partner who's working on it. If you have this inflated value of self-worth, opinion of self-worth, ask yourself seriously. Send yourself an email and read it and say, how would I react if I got this email? I've gotten emails, same situation. At very minimum, please put a signature line in your email so they know who they're talking to. Put your name, your company name, MC number, and at least a phone number. Okay, possibly an email. There could be a little bit more, maybe a company logo. Look the part. This is not hard. Once you save it in there, it's in every email. Okay, I've gotten emails with uh, something in the subject line and then 5 question marks in the body of the email. What the hell am I supposed to do with that? I mean, this is frustrating. And I'm not posting the load for garbage. I post my loads for top dollar every time. I don't I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth. Here's top dollar, which is always pretty good. You take it, or we find somebody else. I mean, that's what it is. It's always the highest posted load on that lane. and you can't. I'm offering you right off the bat top dollar, and you can't ask me a question, right? Now, why this is so important is because this is the initial point of contact, right? So say you're at in this email right here, you're trying to sell your company. You're selling your service. All you have to offer is service, and you're selling your service. You're putting your best foot forward to somebody you're trying to get work from, and this is how you present yourself. You've you've immediately right off the bat damaged any chance you have of getting what you want. You've already told me that you're out of your league here. You're above your level. Don't do this. Don't do this. Typically, what I do, I prefer to call. Some people don't list their phone number. If I have to email, I say, "Hi, my name is Adam. I'm with such and such a company," and I tell them my story first. I say, "I have a truck that's going to be empty in this area, a reefer trailer, on this date, this time. I see you have this load posted. If they have not posted information about the load, I'll say, could you please provide me a little bit more information as far as the schedule on this load? I do not talk money in the first email. That is off the table. Um, and then if they have posted information, I should do something to show them that I read their information. I paid attention. All right. Say, I see you have this load that picks up at 8 a.m. on this day. I have a truck nearby, delivers the next day. This could probably potentially work out for my truck. Do you still have this load? And could we talk more about it? Perhaps you could call me, or I could call you if I can get a phone number. You want to show them that you pay attention. I post all the information, and still oftentimes I get back, can I get some more? Can I get the details on this load? You're immediately telling me you have no attention to detail. You can't, you know, read all the information in front of you. If you believe you're worth what you believe you're worth, then act like it. Prove it. You have one chance to make a first impression with somebody. And if you're asking for more money, you gotta put that foot forward and show them that you deserve it. This is this is absolutely unacceptable. It really is. Nobody could do business this way. Uh, it's frustrating. It really is. Let me jump to some comments here. Gary Bates says, "No, I am worth more." Okay, Gary, I know you are because I know. And here's the thing too. Uh, Different services provided are worth more. I mean, some companies are going to be worth more because they have warehousing, they have drop yards, they have secure drop lots, they have hazmat, they have different things that they can provide, right? Just because you think you're worth $5 a mile, $10 a mile, that's your vision of what you're worth. What are you worth to the marketplace? What can you provide? What are you providing for that money, right? The very least thing you got to provide is to look the part. What do they say? Fake it till you make it. I mean, you're telling me you're worth $5 a mile, and you can't even put a period in the body of an email, or a hello, or something. It's absolutely don't be that guy. This in this market, I tell you what. Let me tell you this: if I got an email right after that, guys, that told me all the things I said, at least introduced himself, told me he had a truck. Who do you think's getting the answer back? Who do you think's getting the load? That second guy could even have a little sketchy of a record, and the other guy could have a great review. I'm still giving it to that other guy. I still am. It's crazy. Let's see here. WCF Invader says, apparently today I'm worth a tonu and $6 a mile. Ooh, they got you with a tonu. Doggone it. Jackknife TV says brokers are the devil. Well, I don't know. Jackknife LMAO. Okay, Roller Wiener Express in here. Snorlord saying hello. How you doing? I think Snorlord would agree with me on this one. He doesn't not on the receiving end of these emails, but I believe I've heard him speak about this is how I present myself when I'm asking about something. You may not think it's a big deal, but it makes all the difference. You're telling him in that initial point of contact exactly how you're going to behave the rest of the time they're transacting with you. You're not going to communicate. Or I'm too busy. I don't have time to type an email. You're too busy to deal with you. If you're too busy, then you can't haul my load, right? You have to set yourself apart. And I'm telling you from the other, I'm doing this video from the other point of view in an effort to help you guys. I'm telling you the truth. Um, the the communication in this business is an unbelievable all-time low. Even though rates can be low, volumes can be low, you start doing these things to set yourself apart, you'll be way more successful. People they book loads and they don't show up to pick them up, don't call. I talked to another broker today, and sometimes if we're talking a little bit, I'll share with them that I also have a brokerage. You don't always do that because they think you're going to double broker. But if we establish some kind of rapport, I say, hey, can I just pick your brain on some things that are happening here? And I told her, I says, sometimes I post these loads for unbelievable money and I can't get anybody to take them. And she's like, and this is a pretty sizable brokerage. She's like, we have the same thing. We pay a lot of money and then people just don't show up. They don't call. They don't tell us loaded, empty, whatever. They won't stop tracking, whatever. If people are willing to pay for your service, you do these things. This Truck in Life says, howdy, Jerome Jones. Good afternoon, DIY. Good afternoon. Big Daddy Crypto says he's worth about 50 cents. He can be had for 50 cents in a pack of Marlboros. Come on. Woo, too much. Hey, sorry for the text. I didn't see you were live until now. That's okay. I saw it. I'll get back to you in a little bit. Snorlord says infinity. Woo. All right. Fate Trucking in here. This Trucking Life's getting a new air dryer installed. Okay, CJ Hudson in here. Jackknife TV says, I know there's one broker with a YouTube channel that cancels loads all the time and then laughs maniacally. One time I had to and they canceled it on me. I couldn't help it. At least I gave 24 hours notice. Anyway, the point is, set yourself apart. I can't tell you enough how big of an issue this is, the non-communication issue. I just can't. I could go through, I'm going to bring up my email here just so I can see it. I could go through, I don't even know how many emails I got. I bet you better than 100 emails here. And I bet you I could pick out 2 that were an intelligible email that had a question or just said, hey, I'm interested in your load. Do you still have it? 2. I'm not exaggerating. Out of probably 100. Which percentage are you in? Honestly, like I cannot convey to you like the importance of this. I just can't. And I know a lot of you will never be on the other side of this. I understand that. A lot of you hate the other side of this, the brokers. I understand that. But like I'm here to tell you, like from another perspective, some things that can help you. And this is a very high on the list. It's extremely high. Dazzle them. What else you got to do? Sit there and type them out. 3-4 sentences. Tell them everything about you, service you provide, your trucks. Hey, here's where it is. It can be empty. This preemptively tell them your driver's name. Hell, send them a picture of your truck and say, and maybe the driver and say, this is who's going to be hauling your load. If this guy doesn't show up and somebody else does, that ain't us. Call me. I'm not double brokering it. I'm not scamming you. Here's the guy right here. Puts a face with it. Brokers are worried about scams right now too. I'm telling you. These overseas people are running scams on brokers all the time. Chi-Town says listening. Appreciate it. Cool Trucking in here. Hey, how's it going? Well, it's going. I'm frustrated, and I'm trying to find a way to express it without burning everything down. It's I'm glad I did this This other part here, the other side of it, I just can't tell you the amount that it's improved, like my business and my perspective on things. The level of understanding is just it's way different now, and I kind of want to share that. I want to share that. Don Shanger says, always a good time here. Appreciate it, Don. Oh, there he is. Velox. Uh-oh, things get serious when you start sharing the screen. Yeah. Oh, finally some broker transparency. Hey, we can share some things. Jerome Jones, this truck and life that good. Yep. Snorlet says Landstar sucks. Don't expect much from them. You don't, but they're a large mega company. I at least expect them to conduct themselves as such. I would think, wouldn't you think he's gonna double broker my load? That's what they do. I mean, a good percentage of their business is that's what they do. Wouldn't you think he would at least try to like pry some information from me, or lie to me, or scam me? Something. I just expect I expect more from somebody trying to cheat me. Uh, Jackknife TV says, "Good morning. This is Kevin with AFC MC. Yep, give me your MC number. There you go. I forgot that. I'm interested in this load or load number. Could I request some more information, please? Your buyback." You would get a reply from me immediately. That's exactly what we're looking for. Now, honestly, if loads go fast, things fly off the board. That load could be gone by the time you get that, or he could have got 5 more just like it. He could have got 50 emails, 4 of them like what you sent, and 46 of them with 2 question marks in the body of the email. Those 46 are getting deleted, unless it's somebody he's dealt with before and realizes he can pay him nothing. And it probably comes down to you guys. Like, really. Jackknife. Then, of course, your number, email address, proper ending of an email. Yeah, and a signature line. It looks professional. Here, I'll see if I have. Mine is very basic. The email service I use, I haven't been able to get my um, logo in the signature of my email. Ah, screw it. I'm not going to do it. I share screen again and mess all that up. I'll mess something up. Just give me a chance. Driving with John in the house. Thanks for coming in. Cool Truckin' says, I'm surprised they knew how to send an email. Yes. Yes. It's not amateur hour anymore. Right? The last couple of years they needed us bad. Nothing mattered. Nothing mattered other than you could pick it up and deliver it. Sometimes it didn't even matter if you were on time. The amount of money they had to pay didn't matter. Those times are long gone, Jack. It is not amateur hour anymore. You have to start running it like a business. And I know, hey, I would bet most of the people in here are doing it the right way. I would bet, because you're still here. Um, if you're not, and you're struggling for loads and such, I would really encourage you to take a hard look at that. And okay, so if you're not emailing, if you're calling, same approach. They answer the phone. My immediate is, hey, this is Adam with such and such company. I'm looking at this load you have here on DAT. If they have no information, we'll talk about, hey, going to get some more information. I have a truck available. Here's where he's going to be and when he's going to be there. I try to get this out even before they speak. And if they already have the information on there, I'm giving the gist of that. Hey, I've read your email. I understand when it picks up, when it delivers. Hey, maybe is there any leeway on the delivery time? Money, last thing we talk about, because that doesn't even matter if we can't do the load. And first, you want to convey to them that you've paid attention to their needs, not just yours. You're trying to solve their problem, do a good job for them, and only then will you have the potential to possibly get paid a little more. Honestly, right now it's going to be a struggle either way, but I'm telling you, the other way you have no chance. You have absolutely no chance. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself the best chance you can to get what you want. Snorler says everyone is worthless and don't deserve the plastic bottles in their sleeper. Oh man. Oh boy. Snorlord says I have great signatures and email correspondence skills. I know you do because I've heard you talk about it. PD Ross says F you, I'll ask questions. Ask questions. That's part of communicating. It's better than uh calling up you have load how much? How much? Why you want to know how much? You don't even know if you could pick it up. If your only concern is money, you're going to lie to me and tell me you can make it when you know you can't, and then be late, and we'll have all these problems, and you'll be delayed for the delivery, and that'll cause all these problems, and then you're just going to blame me as the broker when you lied to me in the first place, right? And the broker should not lie to you. I can't control that if they do. It, People are going to say, "Why should I do this?" Brokers are just going to lie, cheat, and steal. You can't control what they do. You can know, but you can control what you do. Give yourself the best chance. That's You can't control them. I mean, control what you can, and the rest you just do your best, right? If they screw you, you don't do business with them again. But two wrongs don't make a right. Them lying to you doesn't justify you lying to them. I've found I've had to deliver some really bad news to brokers, and it sucks. I've gotten a little bit used to it, which is I don't like the fact of that. But sometimes trucks break down, man. Sometimes things happen. Um, Most of them will appreciate the honesty. If I have a truck that breaks down, guess what? They get a picture of the truck. If it blew a radiator, they get a picture of that. If it blew a tire, they get a picture of that. We document everything. Can preserve your relationship in the long run. I've had a couple brokers. We've had pretty much a knockdown drag out over getting loads delivered. We had one 2 weeks ago, and because of how they handled themselves, how we handled it, I tell you what, we handled ourselves way better than they did. But they paid up when it was over, and there's a chance we might do business again. Outside chance, but there's a chance. Uh, Brokers are thieves. Hmm. Guess what? It works both ways. Can I show you? No, I'm not going to show you because it's got their names in the emails. Can I show you the emails of the people that have emailed me trying to get a load with suspended authorities or lapsed insurance or no authority in the first place? Is that being a thief? Hey, we don't, as truckers, see that side of it. There is plenty of nonsense going around for everybody. I will tell you that for sure. Uh, I had a carrier. Well, that's got their name too. The other week, I always pull up their safety record before I can give them. I got to know if I can load them. I'm responsible for loading safe, compliant carriers. And somebody wanted to load for me last week, and every one of their basic scores was over 80%, except for hazmat because they didn't have hazmat. Mechanical, driver fitness, uh, what do you call it? Like careless driving type, like safety. And they're mad at me because I won't give them a load. I'm like, I can't load you. Like it'd be irresponsible. It's odd situation. Jackknife TV says, then you email them a nice professional email and said you back one sentence that says, "What's your rate?" Yeah, it happens, but you did your part, right? And continue to do your part because someday you're going to email that right broker that's going to appreciate that, and you're going to make a contact and do a lot of business with them. Yeah. But you never know when or where or who that person is going to be. So you got to put your best foot out every time. Snorlord says, do like I do every email like this. Where's the load? You didn't put enough question marks in there, Snorlord. Vilak says, WCF Invader, I form an email like I imagine I would have if I had gone to college. Oh, there you go. There you go. I call brokers because I can get a feel for the broker. There have been times I turn them down based on their demeanor. As have I. As have I. I tell you what, I pulled a direct customer last week, a brand new one, and I don't know if I'm going to haul a second load for them. We'll see how this goes, but they're just awful at communicating, and we can't work that way. So mm, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, we got a lot, all kinds of stuff coming in. Um, Gary Bates says, I'm looking to collaborate with someone to grow with. Yeah, I think you have a lot to offer there. CJ Hudson says, agreed on phone call is preferred. Yeah, because you'll learn more about who you're dealing with, right? If there's chickens clucking in the background, um, I'm not interested. Not interested. I know Velox, I never give them one or I set it well above, but it should be and ask for them to negotiate. Usually they're just using an email as a bid platform at that point. Yes, and a lot of how do I convey this the right way? So sometimes it's better to get an email because people call and you can't have a conversation. You can't understand each other, to put it mildly. There's there is such a barrier of communication between you. And I don't want that to sound the wrong way because I don't want to discriminate on somebody just because they can't speak our language well. They might be a very good truck driver and do a very good job. A lot of people have a lot of pride in their work, but we there's a barrier that's hard to overcome except in writing. So there is some of that. But and it's I mean, if I got to field 100 phone calls, it's a lot easier to filter through a bunch of emails, right? But I prefer to talk to somebody on the phone. Greg Zimmer speaking the truth. Well, we're trying. A lot of people ain't gonna like it. Oh, Fate Truck and $10 super chat. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the knowledge you have taught me. Well, you're welcome. And I know you had a big success here recently um, of talking to somebody and making an arrangement for yourself. That's a good deal. Um, oh, so yeah, something also that he does uh, when dealing with a broker. Email them. Hey, I'm at the shipper. Hey, I'm loaded. And then when unloaded, hey, here, I've delivered your load. Thanks a lot. Here's a copy of the bill of lading right away for you. And that's gone a long ways. That's some people really appreciate that. The difference between being a driver and a professional, preach, bro. It is. It is. If you're trying to, I mean, if you got your own authority, you got into, a serious business. You're obviously you're taking this, or maybe you don't know what you got into, but you got into a serious business at a higher level than just being leased onto somebody. If you want to be successful, you gotta operate like everybody else is operating in that space as a professional business owner. You are no longer a truck driver; you're a small business owner, right? So a lot of the most important things you do all day will not even involve you behind the wheel. You have to run a business first. You're at that point, you're a truck driver second, honestly. Um, but not everybody wants that. They just wanted their authority, so because of the money. Well, that money's gone. So now what? What else you got? That's different from the, I don't know, 400,000 or 500,000 other guys out here with one truck own authorities. What do you got that's different than them? Because I bet you probably at least 25% of them can compose an email and ask about a load and book a load. So think about that. Think about that. If it only makes a difference ever one time, I mean, you're talking hundreds of dollars in your pocket. And it's a good practice in case you ever want to scale up. All right. Velox says, you're unique in the broker world, though. We get mistreated by unprofessional brokers on the regular in the spot market. I've learned to. You're absolutely right. And I've been through all that. I've been mistreated. Um, you know who I prefer to deal with in the broker world is brokerages that are part of a carrier. Um, and for instance, who would that be? Like your, obviously Robinson, TQL, Coyote. They don't have their own. Well, Coyote's part of UPS, but they don't have their own trucks. Uh, what if you went like Leonard's Express. Um, they're a reefer company. Um, hell, hmm, like KLM. Oh, I can't believe I would. I'm saying Prime. Just an example. Trying to think of asset-based brokerages, right? There's all kinds of them. They're everywhere. And you know who I even like the best out of them is the small ones. I deal with a few small company brokerages in the upper Midwest here that are just fantastic. They're just fantastic. Uh, they've lowered their rates on the load board, and we still get the rate we were hauling it for a year ago. $100 less, $100 less, but that's not really a big deal. Um, they have their own trucks and a brokerage. They broker out their overflow freight, and those are the people I really, really like to deal with. Is small carriers with a brokerage. I recently made a contact with a new one here in Wisconsin, and they're just fantastic. We don't, I don't even negotiate. She gives me max price every time. We've had I called this person up the first time to talk to him on the phone. Me and the dude ended up talking for 45 minutes, and I'm trying to get him off the phone because I'm like my phone's ringing off the hook. But we had a long, great conversation, and we're probably gonna try to help each other out and work together. Shoot for that. That the heck with everybody hates TQL. Well, then the heck with them. The heck with them. And uh, don't even get me started with the click and go only overseas brokerages. They're just dead to me. They're just dead to me. They're done. What up, Jackknife? All right. Hunter says, "What's up, brother? Thanks for coming in, Hunter." Brother Craig says, "Let the party start." Okay. Party started about 36, 37 minutes ago. I don't know. You were late. Jerry Bates says, "I'm looking into a HELOC loan." Okay. Boy, those rates have gone up. Holy cow. But it's still cheaper than traditional truck financing. I'll tell you that. Um, Bear Harborson, afternoon. Shannon Thomas, burning up the road. Did I miss Shannon Thomas? Is she in here? Oh, I did. I missed. Thank you, Shannon Thomas, for coming in. Channel member. Appreciate it. Where did I leave off here? Sage Live in here. I think Sage would probably agree with me on most of what I'm saying. He also fields calls and emails from people. Brian Zarling says, "I hate when a broker replies, 'What's your MC number?' I always list my MC along with the name of the company. It's like, did you even read my email?" Yes. See, and you're also learning about them if they can communicate and do their job, right? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They could be burning through 100 emails at a time, and you're right. They're not paying attention to the details, or they're just so jaded and used to people not providing it that they didn't even look for it. Either way, they should be, uh, so they can recognize who they're dealing with. They should want to know as much who they're dealing with as you do of who you are dealing with. Velox, hey Sage, Snorlords Live was a good show yesterday. Yeah, it got a little stirred up, and that's probably my fault because I think, like, right, wrong, or indifferent, I think some truths need to be told. And I don't know, for some reason I thought I was the one that had to say it, but whatever. My fault. Sage says, "I was Landstar agent. You have to say only post on your Landstar board." But how would I know? If they took my load and I told them you can only post it on your Landstar board, I mean, what? I guess I could see if they posted it on DAT. I would know right away, or I can't check every load board. But yeah. Um, Jim Bosky, hope you've been doing well. How difficult was it to start a freight brokerage? It's not hard. Honestly, the barrier of entry is pretty low. The bond is cheap. And to start it, that's all you really need. File for the authority, get a bond. But I carry insurance. Not everybody does. I carry supplemental cargo and all that. And then, your load boards and all that stuff are more expensive on the broker side. Um, it's it's the building relationships and getting the freight is where your challenges are. And Paul over at Freight Connect provides some training on that, some good training and insight. I know Sage can teach you how to get your brokerage going. I don't know if he still does that or not, but you can hit him up for that. Snorler says, I just sent you a sample of my greatness. Okay, I'll check that out. I don't want to put it on the screen without looking at it first, but CJ Hudson says, email ending, thanks for your time. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, it's a pleasant way to end an email. There is all kinds of way to do this. Just put some thought into it. Say, what would I want to, if I was trying to find somebody to handle something that I cared about, what would I want to see in them? And then do that, right? Driving to John Landstar agents and drivers are all self-employed. The one that contacted you obviously is not professional, not worth doing business with. I'm sure they were going to double broker. Yeah, that's why if you see, if you're regularly on DAT and looking at loads, occasionally you'll see in the comments, no Landstar. I have one lady I get emails from every day. She sends her email load list and big bold letters, no Landstar, because they're tired of them double brokering it and they get away with it. Nothing's done about it. I know it's something in their contract. They slip something in their contract and make you sign it in regards to that. It still doesn't make it right. Tommy Reed says brokers' attitudes are so ignorant. They are brutal. A year ago, they would never talk this way. Some, I mean, I still deal with. I worked hard over the last couple years to build some regular relationships, and we don't talk to each other that way. We really don't. You're gonna get that when you're like cold calling to other people. You're gonna get that, but you get belligerent truck drivers too. Trust me. That's right off the bat with the first, you know, part of the conversation are hostile, and it's not how you when you want something from somebody. That's not how you start the transaction. You know what I'm saying? Like no class on negotiations or communication will tell you right off the bat, call the guy a crook, right? It's not how it works. It would never say to call him a crook, right? You didn't get what you want. Okay, well, leave the door open for possibly another time, right? Tommy Reed says, DIY, you have the best attitude. I don't know. Lately, my attitude's been a little surly. Um, it's there's been a lot to deal with. I handle it the best I can. I don't always do the best job, but I do the best that I can with things. Sometimes I feel like I may need some help, but it's not to the point where I can yet afford it. Um, Trucker Carlson says, "Are you on Twitter DIY?" No, this is the only kind of social media type thing that I do is YouTube, and I don't even really do that well. I tried Facebook for a short period of time, but that was just people like to argue, and I got no time for that. And people that it gives a very loud, valid voice to people that should never be heard from, if you know what I'm saying. Um, too much access, too much access to other people. Crazy Uncle BOC in the house. Shout out to Gmail. Yeah, I will never. Uh, I know Snorlord agrees with me on this one. I don't respond to brokerages with a Gmail address. I have a company domain for my. It's well, it's Adam at apex-cargo.com. That's my business email for that. Gmail, it's why? It's like $3 a month or something like that to have a domain email. Why can't you do that? And any brokers working from home, they have access. I mean, these freaking things can do anything. These freaking phones. Um, why you got Gmail on there? You trying to scam me? What are we doing here? Um, Sage says I have given up a lot of bad shippers. Okay. Yeah, I had high hopes that new customer was going to be a good thing, and it's just like pulling teeth to get the guy. He doesn't answer emails when I call. Hello. Like Is this Nathan? Yeah. Like, oh, that's great. Wonderful. You're pleasant. Hey, can we get an appointment for this or that? I suppose. Like, okay, you gonna email me or you gonna send smoke signal? You got a messenger pigeon you're gonna send to my house? What are we doing here, Nathan? It's just like pulling doggone teeth. And at a certain point, it's just like it's not worth it. But we'll see. We're still new. It may turn out to be a great thing. Who knows? But I'm not gonna extend a lot of leeway on that. I just don't care. Jackknife TV says, here how much brokers are making 9.5 to 14.75%. That's probably about average. I would say like 12% is probably average. 10 to 12%. I would say that's what Paul tells me. I know you guys are all upset about this Scott Woods that posted a video on YouTube about how he's listen. That's Scott Woods. Okay, like he's a loud, boisterous guy. Don't like that. May be meant to trigger you. Maybe it's true. I don't know. Uh, Probably. Who knows? But don't get too bent about what one person says, especially when they have a YouTube channel and they want views. Um, always remember YouTube pays us to do this. Unless you have a big channel, they don't pay us to do it very well. But there's always that potential. Jackknife TV, I made 2 videos on a load I took the shipper put right on the bill of lading. Okay, about that. That may be the rate for moving the load. Okay, but you got to remember, this is different for different types of trailers, different operations. There's an amount of money set aside for that load to be handled from beginning to end. Okay, so say I pick up uh, a Nestle load, right? But it's a 1 second. My dog's bugging me here. Sit down. I'm picking it up from an Americold, not a Nestle, right? Nestle has to pay Americold to warehouse that to unload it at arrival and to reload it on your trailer. All these things are budgeted, right? That's all part of the freight bill. I'm not saying that's what happened with these loads. I'm just saying that sometimes this is what those numbers can all include. You may not be taking it to Kroger. You might be taking it to McLean's that's going to distribute it to a school, a hospital, whatever. McLean's is not the end user of that product. They're going to have maybe McLean's is a bad example, maybe a US Cold. They have to be paid to unload it and store it. Possibly storage is not included in that, but these places do not run their forklifts and load and unload trailers for free. This can all be part of that budget. So I'm not saying that's what happened in this occasion, but sometimes this is what there's all kinds of things that can be involved in these dollar amounts, but we just see it and say, holy crap, this is what that load is really paying. Well, just pump your brakes a little bit until you know for sure that is only truckload rate. It may have been partially on an LTL carrier to get to where you're picking it up, right? So I don't want to say is that all in rate on that load, or is there other things involved? Chances are, if it was put on there by the shipper, it was the all-in budget for that load of everything that needs to be done. What needed to be done with that load? I don't know. Cattle Holland says, I bid on a load that's a year's contract. When the broker called to discuss, said if they win it, I win it because no one else in that bid will answer the phone or call them back. It's the same thing of what I was talking about earlier of that other lady that's a broker that said, hey, we're putting these loads out for this amount of money and I can't even get anybody to take them. Well, this is a known brokerage. They have a good credit rating. All of my transactions with them have always been nothing but right on the money. I don't understand what the problem is. People claim they are hurting so bad, yet they can't move these loads. They're, approaching $6,000 for the load. Hey, I'll take that. I'll eat that lunch all day. No problem. Mechanic Jay says, well, this economy thinks I'm worthless. Hey, Economy is going to get you. Economy is going to get all of us, right? Nobody is above the bigger picture here, right? Not me, not anybody in this chat, not anybody on YouTube. Um, that's all the reason not to be a braggart and to be spending money foolishly, spending money on shiny things, because you will be humbled beyond your wildest dreams. Because none of us are bigger than the bigger picture. Mechanic J says, well, it thinks most people are worthless and tries to exploit people. Nevada, what's up? Are we busy hurting feelings and crushing dreams this afternoon? We trying. We try to smash everything we can. This is a smash and burn channel. That's what we like to do. Sage says, that's my job. Okay, we'll let you be the dream smasher. WCF and Vader, these guys will be bled out. And also the reason I think I've been very successful while many others are struggling to get $2 a mile. Granted, I do have the Midwest market working for me as well. The Midwest market is tough right now too. It's where are the safe havens? There's some good areas around, but a lot of it's right place, right time. And we're still, pre-Thanksgiving. Next week is probably going to be pretty slow. You have some opportunities on some last minute things before, during, and after Thanksgiving. The time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, who knows? That's when we find out what the real Christmas rush is all about. But I don't have high expectations. I'm very thankful and glad that everybody here got the picture of what we were trying to do over the last 2 years and building these relationships that we built. And here we are. That's what we're relying on. So, thank you to any of the people that work with me that are watching hey, just thanks for listening. Thanks for being open to learn. I know you're reaping the benefits of it, and we all are. So, job well done. Velox says Nevada DIY baths bathes in owner ops tears. Hey, there's enough of them. Sage, don't forget to factor my fuel cost. Yeah. Twitch Trucking says, what are your thoughts on us striking? You want the truth? I think it is the dumbest thing ever. How many times are we going to continue to do this striking bull crap? It doesn't work. It worked maybe back in the 70s on some stuff when there was regulation and people actually gave a damn. Nobody cares anymore. There is no brotherhood in trucking. I hate to break that to you. There is no brotherhood in trucking. We're all not going to get together one day and do this or do that. It's not going to happen, nor should it happen. Because we're not the same. We're not the same. Look, some people can't even compose a damn email. And they'll go out and strike and demand all these things, right? Got to find better solutions, man. Find better solutions. There's better ways to do things. I don't have all the solutions, but I mean, the little strike they did up in Canada, that was somewhat productive, but largely you're going to turn sentiment against you, and people are going to resent you for it. And are we, the U.S. economy is hurting. We're all hurting. There's layoffs. There's layoffs coming everywhere. People are vulnerable. Do you really want to be people say, if we should just strike and shut down, we'll teach this country a lesson. Do you really want to be the one to cripple your country? To me, that's un-American. Like, look at the bigger picture, right? Yeah, we could cripple this country if we shut down. Guess what? You'd be a crap bag for doing it, intentionally doing it to your neighbors, to your kids. Like, be an adult. There's a lot of vocations that could cripple this country. The airline pilots could cripple us. The train conductors could cripple us. If the medical profession just shut down and went on strike, people could die. You don't want to be part of that. Let's find big boy adult ways to solve our problems. There's other ways to do things. WCF Invader says, I know you disagreed with me on this, but I do think this is the reason rates will bottom out in the winter and go back up by summer next year. Yeah, we do disagree on that. Um, I've thought real hard about it, and I can't find the catalyzing event that makes the economy get better and the rates go up by spring or summer. The holiday season this year is largely a bust. Um, Interest rates continue to rise. Inflation, as much as they like to pat themselves on the back for getting it under control, it is not under control. They have no grip on this other than to keep raising interest, and they're going to further cripple the economy in the process. So you go through winter. First quarter is always slow in trucking. It starts to pick up Marchish. When it starts to warm up places, building starts picking up. People start getting out and doing things and spending money. Uh, when that happens next year, interest rates are going to be sky high. Building is going to be crippled because of high interest rates. So building is going to take a hit. So you're not going to have that early spring building rush. And because of inflation, people are not going to have the money to go out and start being active and spending and being free and careless, which is what we look forward to with the warm weather and the spring coming. And add into that, those two things, this third thing, there is no, well, let me take it. There is nothing positive on the horizon to solve our energy crisis. There is no legislation being pushed. There is no policy being pushed other than the one that got us to where we are. It's being doubled down on, and there's no possibility unless something substantially positive happens and rapidly that by spring we have anything more than a worse energy crisis than we do have now. I'm talking oil, diesel, gas, natural gas for that matter, propane. We use a lot of this stuff in the wintertime. Put those three things together, I don't see what the event is that causes this economy to turn around and be better and for trucking to be better in the spring and summer. I am willing to listen and be convinced otherwise, possibly. But I really believe that. Um, tell me the event or the catalyzing event or policy that would make it otherwise. There's a war on fossil fuels. Our business relies on fossil fuels. People are not backing down off of that. They're doubling down on it. Is somebody between now and then going to magically pull us out of the Paris Climate Accords? I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, and we could potentially be deeper into some kind of military conflict with somebody by that time also. So I don't see it. I couldn't even look past first quarter or second quarter to say when things would get better. It could be prolonged. It's just that's my gut feeling and my opinion, and that's what it's based on. If somebody has a better one, I sure hope so. I'm not sitting here being pessimistic. I'm just stating the reason why I believe that, and I could be missing a whole bunch of things. Don't know. Always open to the possibility of being wrong or whatever. Uh, Cool Truckin' says this is the way of the new driver. I noticed back in the early 2000s. I know it's not getting better. No, it goes the wrong direction. It does. You know what's caused us largely our decline in our ability to communicate? These damn things right here, cell phones. Nobody calls anymore. They text, they email, they instant message, they Facebook, they Twitter, they Snapchat, whatever the hell that is. They Instagram. Uh, Nobody can spell anymore. It's incomplete, fragmented sentences. It's part of the dumbing down of America, and we're all experiencing that. It's whether you realize it or not. It's subconscious. It's psychological. Um, our children are being dumbed down in school. They're not even taught to write in cursive anymore, from what I understand, mostly in most parts of the country. It's just crazy. So I guess some places don't really even use pen and paper anymore. The kids get a tablet, and they have to do all their homework and everything on this tablet. I think that's just insane. Killian says Martin Transport is a kick-ass brokerage company. I've done some work for them. D. Compton says good communication and service sometimes incentivizes the broker to offer you more loads. Has happened a few times for me. You're absolutely right. That has happened many times for us. Oh, I missed a super chat. Shoot. I'm sorry. Oh, Bat One, Greek content. All right. I'll try to bring it back to American content for you. Sorry about that. 1999 super chat. Appreciate it. Okay, where was I? Tommy Reed says, do you deal with Heartland Express out of Kenosha area? I have not. I'm trying to think if I've ever brokered a load from Heartland over the years, and I don't believe that I have. I think I pulled one for Gordon Trucking before Heartland bought them, but I think that's my extent of ever dealing with Heartland. Ricky Acrace says, so good to see you, boss man. I'll appreciate it. Good to see y'all. Red Diesel in the house, channel members. Good afternoon. I appreciate it. This truck in life, true. A lot of times I get a phone call asking for updates or the BOL, and I'm like, I already sent it. Check that email. Yeah, we get that too. Got it this morning or yesterday afternoon too, as a matter of fact. Sage says I texted you. All right. Okay. I'll email you the link for we can take some a guest here for a couple minutes. I can't stay on too long today. I have a lot to do yet. Check out what was all in my mailbox today. Jeepers Cripes, I got a lot of a lot of stuff to go through here today. Incoming paperwork and whatnot. Let me get that email over to you. All right, I emailed you the link. Oh, I'm missing some emails here. I don't need any of those loads. Cool Truckin says after preliminary info and pleasantries, the only thing left is the money. Yeah, that's when you get to the money, and you've already proven to them your attention to detail, that you care about their load, you can communicate, you care about doing things the right way, and now you're in the position. You're in a position to, potentially get more money from them or something else. Maybe it's not always money. Maybe it's a, hey, I'm going here. I don't usually go to this area. Do you have something out of this area that we can talk about, ahead of time here prior to me booking this load, and maybe we can put a couple loads together? There's all kinds of things you can ask for besides or in addition to money. Do you recommend closing MC and authority? A lot of people are doing it. I mean, if you do need to do it, I have a video on that of what you need to do to do it properly. One moment. My dog likes beef jerky and she's just hounding me for it. Selling it or close it. Thinking about selling my MC. Do you recommend? People do that. A clean MC with some age on it. If it's a newer MC number, it's really not worth anything, especially if it has some damage on it, tickets or whatever. An older MC that's clean is worth something. There he is, the man that's going to crush your dreams.
That's me. Put me in, coach. Put me in.
Feelings in the stomach. Hold on, I don't have this sound in my headset here. Okay.
Put me in, coach. That's me.
So
I'm the dream.
First straighten me out. What have I said that is wrong?
Nothing. You a lot of stuff that I've talked about before. A lot of stuff that when you're a carrier, you don't realize the other side until you're actually working the other side and you see this stuff.
Do you agree? Like, let's put all money and all this stuff aside for a second. Like,
yeah,
not just in this business, but in any business, you can like get your hands on the other, like, different aspects of it. Learn it all. Being a well-rounded business person in any business, especially this one, is valuable,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
is. It is. It's valuable.
It,
Just
it
knowing how the things work. Like,
it's there's a lot to this side, and I basically also turn one of my things into like just an MP3 that you can listen to it, just so you can basically hear what's going on my side. Now remember, I've been on both sides, carrier, driver, and broker.
mhm,
And it's one of those things that you really don't realize. The issue is that a lot of people that are watching you and stuff like that aren't usually the problem. Like I said, there's times I'll put out my legal freight and I'll get emails that'll be like 3 words. Texas load available, no signature, no nothing, and I'm like, never
right.
mind. No, and it's because if you have no signature and you have no professionalism in regards to how I'm going to reach back out to you, then I don't want you touching my freight. I don't people don't realize that you are in a business and you are trying to sell your services. So you want to present yourself. It's the same reason a business person wears a suit and a tie, right? They
Exactly.
present themselves as a professional that can handle this situation, that can handle the freight, that can handle what you're about to give to them. If you present yourself and you show up in sweatpants and stuff to a job,
Crocs and Crocs and flops.
right,
Crocs and socks.
and here you are, because remember, people don't think about, you could be handling something that's worth $100,000. I mean, my freight could be worth. I mean, my minimum's 250, right, and a possibility of getting into a wreck and all of us being sued for millions.
Mhm.
And the professionalism that you carry when you step into the door, I don't. I mean, think about that if you were going to walk in and handle $100,000 project for somebody, you want that person showing up in sweatpants and a t-shirt.
Right.
No, you want that
And
business conducted that way. Go ahead.
as a truck driver, it may just be another load to us, right? I've been
Right.
in that situation. Oh, it's just another load. It's going to get me here. But I guarantee you, that load is important to somebody.
Correct.
It is important, even if it's a load of whatever scrap paper. Scrap, it might not be important to anybody. Toilet paper. It's important to somebody. Somebody
Correct.
cares about that load. Somebody has a vested interest in that load, and they want to know that you are even remotely care about it.
Yeah, and it's. I think this is the biggest problem, and it's. I saw somebody, you mentioned the strike aspect, right? And you guys are going to strike against supply and demand. Good luck. Yeah, I mean, most of the people that want to strike is because they're on the overflow market, the spot market. The freight that you have is either a one and done, or it's overflow. That, hey, can you get an extra truck in here? We have more freight than just the normal one, the normal load going out. So what you got? The problem is drivers don't want to look at this and say, "Hey, I'm the extra guy. I'm the fill-in guy." Right? The normal, like I used to drive for U.S. Food Service, and when you start out, you started as like a temp, like non-union, and you just sat there waiting by the phone to see if somebody called off. So a lot of the drivers running the spot market is the overflow freight, and when that dies, well, the normal guys are going to keep their job, and you're just going to have to sit at home, but there's no
Mhm.
unemployment. And that's why you kind of need to get yourself in a position either through a broker or through a direct customer that you become the normal guy, right?
Right.
You become the guy that's going to be called. Those guys usually don't complain. It's the ones that want to strike are the ones that are basically standing at the corner waiting for the truck to pick them up so that they can go out and mow more lawns, right? But if I don't need you, I just drive by. And drivers don't want to hear that when they're running the spot market, but that's the truth of it.
It can be, yes. Let me catch up on some comments here. Hot Seat says this live stream is appreciated. Well, thank you. You are appreciated. CDN says, have you heard of Trello? I have not heard. Do you know of Trello?
He sent it to me once, but I have not used it.
Okay.
Um,
Rooster Cogburn says, I'm just a number. Okay. Snorlord did a show this morning that illustrated people probably should never get on Facebook and ask for help to give out information. It makes us look really bad. Yeah, I don't think Facebook is proper for business anymore. It's too polluted and convoluted. I'm not on it, so I'm not the best guy to ask.
yeah,
Um,
LinkedIn is more of a professional Facebook. If you guys want to be more of a professional, you would go to like a LinkedIn.
hmm Yep. Yeah, RBK says plenty of brokers use Gmail and I've booked loads. Yeah, I mean you're obviously a rule is not hard and fast. Letitia Salazar says, I have a question.
Okay.
Put it out there. Bring your question. Thank you for your super chat. Appreciate it. Cash says, you should have made this a members only. Stop giving away all the great information to the idiots that are too stupid even to acknowledge you're talking to them.
Yeah,
Damn it, boy.
Normally that's for my OnlyFans. I usually do that for members only.
Oh, I hope y'all never find my OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It's mostly just, well, that's for another show.
That's right.
CDN says percentage pay varies by load. 12% on 400,000, 5,000. New brokers won't have a lot. 2,500 plus loads. Say 10 loads, $500 a load at 12%. Is that too much? That sounds like a lot of math.
That's a lot of math. And basically what he's saying is he's factoring different loads. And as a new broker, you're looking at probably making about $1,200 a month by the time you're done moving the loads. If you're doing 10 loads, and
I'm not making that, but that's okay. Honestly, right now I'm more concerned about like servicing my customer. It's not, the focus isn't on me making a lot of money. It's about servicing my customer so that I can grow with them and get more loads and prove that I can do good. And they have a lot more to offer, and I'm just trying to get my paws on it. So yeah, it is for now.
And that's the other thing too. It's like as a broker, you probably want to establish yourself with a couple trucks or a carrier that's got a bunch of trucks that you can say, hey, I got more of these loads. You interested? And then they come and get them, and you guys work that relationship.
That's happening.
Yeah, and that's the biggest relationship a broker needs to work first, is that relationship that, hey, I need to work with this carrier good, and then kind of, be able to service the customer.
Yeah. Kenworth versus Peterbilt says that the key for success in this game is don't take cheap loads. Well, when all that's left is cheap loads, what else you got? Because we've been preaching that mantra for 30 years. Don't haul cheap freight. Somebody still is. People always will. So let's find another argument. Let's find something else.
Right, because we go into what's cheap,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Music City Transport. It's amazing how far you can get with solid business acumen and communication. Yeah, I tell you what, over the last couple of years, obviously, we go back to this all the time. Freight was booming. Money was everywhere. I tell you what, the people that during that time focused on building a business, contacts, maybe direct customers, doing all these things, rather than just say, oh, here's a load for $5,000. But hey, these people over here got loads every day of the week. I could maybe continue to do it always for $4,000.
Yeah.
Those people aren't being hit nearly as bad right now. The long-term minded people are doing much better right now.
Yeah, and even when I had a project that I had to hold the price for like 8 months, and when it came back around, it was the boom time, and everybody else was quoting real high price. But when I talked to my drivers, and I basically had to go to the customer and said, hey, I have 3 drivers that this will work with, but because they had like 9 loads, I said the only way I can keep my price is if I can have my same drivers come get them when they hit this area. Can we space this out? And it was, the customer had to work with me to keep the price down, but since I was able to stay in their budget, that locked in that customer for me. Even now, you know what I mean. So sometimes you had to kind of give up getting that higher price for that customer to be able to keep it, to be able to handle the lower price, because they budget for things. There's a budget for it. And when they go over that budget, somebody has to answer for that budget. CFOs, you want to meet dicks? CFOs are dicks. They're the ones that come in and say, hey, why are you over budget? Why are you this much over budget? And now you got a shipping manager that's got to answer for that.
Yeah. Ali says, all loads from Midwest paying $3 going to the East. That's still cheap. With $5 fuel per gallon, it's time to shut down. Hey, if you feel like it's time to shut down, shut down. But I tell you what, I'll make all kinds of money at $3 a mile. I'm sorry, I'm not picking on you, but I'll make a ton of money at $3 a mile, even with $5 a gallon fuel.
What's his profit? I think that because people want to say they're so concerned that brokers shouldn't make 12%, they shouldn't make this much percent, they should make this much profit, right? Now that's profit, okay? How much profit are the drivers making? Like if I were to ask drivers, what's your profit? I think Nevada
Almost
said 30% or something.
at 15%.
Well, no, I think he said 25 to 30%. If he's still in here,
Okay.
I think he said that on the show. He's shooting for 30% profit on top of his lows. Why do you get upset if a broker takes 30% profit?
I mean, same with me. I can shoot for whatever profit I want,
Right.
but that does not mean I am entitled to it. I
Correct. Or you're
strive
gonna
for
get
it.
it.
I try to get it. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it.
Yes. Real quick, you had a super chat from Cash is King. I looked up Sage's
did it?
OnlyFans. It's a bunch of profile pics. Yeah, those are mine. Those are mine. Absolutely. Mhm. Especially the ones on the Super Bowl.
Appreciate it, Cash. Thank you for a super chat. Um, where did I? Okay. And I'm not certainly not picking on you, Ollie, but I'm just saying, hey, and is that van or reefer? Because let me tell you, van freight has never paid that much. Except for recent history. Um, okay, that was you. You're in here now.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Jackknife's fault. If good carriers and owner operators go on strike, the leftover ones will just take the business, or they won't participate because maybe they're still making money. Maybe they made different decisions. Yeah, it.
Yeah,
Always will be that way.
who's
Always.
as I said, who's striking? The ones that are striking are the ones handling the overflow freight. Okay, off you go.
Yeah. Ali says I saw drivers going broke for trying to move $3 load and backhauling for $2 to $1.80 per mile. I'm sorry, but like big carriers are built on less money than that.
Yeah,
It's the truth. You can get mad at me for it, but it's the truth.
correct.
Especially if you're talking about dry freight. Is it a great margin? No, not. It's not what you're used to.
Right.
But like, that's kind of how it's always been. Like, trucking has never been a license to print money.
Right.
That was so unusual. Hey, if I would, those numbers. I'd be okay. I'd be doing really well actually. Okay, so if you're at 3 and 2, that's $5 a mile divided by that's averaging 250 a mile. I'm still making all kinds of money because of the decisions that I've made of speccing equipment for fuel economy and
Right.
the maintenance decisions we make, the pricing power I've worked hard on for fuel and tires and maintenance and all these things, the education I've given myself in those areas. I'd still be okay.
Yeah.
Still be doing making far more than I would as a company driver.
And,
That's still a good margin for me.
but those are decisions that you made as a business owner.
Right.
Not as
I'll never apologize for it because I work hard on this stuff for
right.
years. I met with somebody yesterday that came to my house.
Mhm.
I brought him over for a little bit, and we're just going around and we're showing him the different trucks and whatever. And I got 3 trucks sitting in my driveway. They're all paid for. My shop is paid for. My house is paid for. And he's like, man, I want all this. I said, dude, this took me 22 years to get. 22 years. This is not happening in a year and a half or 2 years.
Right.
But trucking can do that for you, man.
Mhm.
That's like, you think I went through some crappy times in like 2008 when fuel hit $4 a gallon and we're still hauling for $1.05 a mile.
Right.
And fuel surcharge on your loaded miles. Hey, that sucked. Did I work for a year at a time for probably 15 cents a mile? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Worth it. 100%. Got me to where I am right now.
And it's just like Mark Sorrell is one of a super fan of mine. Not really. He's like, Sage, it won't be long now, TikTok. And I think he means, brokers going away. And it's like, I've been doing this for 20 years. You don't think I'll survive? You don't think I'll find something else to do after managing my own brokerage for 15 years, specializing in overdimensional freight, able to handle multiple loads? You don't think I can consult? You don't think I can probably put a resume in someplace and say, this is what I've been doing for the last 20 years? And you don't think somebody's going to pay me to do it with the knowledge I have?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be okay. Trust me.
Because you understand about being well-rounded.
Yeah, and it's I've learned, and that's the big thing drivers seem. You have to learn the whole industry. That's drivers step into this industry and they're like, okay, I'm a truck driver. Boom, I'm done. I'm doing this, and they complain. Rather than learn the whole industry and understand what's going on and rank themselves up, they don't do that, right? And it's the knowledge then and that when you rank up and that is kind of what puts you in that higher standard, right? People say that all you have to do is give 10% more than somebody else to be superior. 10%.
Hell, apparently all you gotta do is learn how to compose an email. Be better than every. No, I'm shocked that you learn new things all the time, and I didn't know we were down to that level.
Well, you mentioned earlier before I came in how many carriers that I will pull up there. I'll start with their FMCSA. I won't even do the 411 or anything else, and they're like out of service 69%, 70%. I'm like, whoa, bro.
We're supposed to have rules against that being operating.
So so for me, it's like I don't. And then they get upset. I'm like, I can't give you this load. Just like you said, I can't give. Do you know what your numbers are? Have you checked your numbers?
No, most of them don't. They'll be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, and I'll screen cap it and send them a picture of it.
Right. And it'll pull up.
You haven't updated your MCS 150 in 4 years. Your DOT number is suspended.
Yeah,
I had that last week. I'm like, dude, your DOT number is suspended. You haven't updated your MCS 150 in 4 years. Your DOT number has been suspended for a long time, and people are still loading you. How are they loading you?
They're not checking. They're not checking because I get that all the time. Oh, well, I just hauled a load for CH Rob. I just hauled a load for this. I'm like, well, you ain't hauling a load for me with these numbers. I don't know what to tell you.
And I hate to be a stickler for it, but like, I'm responsible for that.
That's my job.
Yeah. Like, that's my job on behalf of the shipper. It's not just my job legally. Like, I have a duty to. That's one of the things I'm responsible to do on behalf of the shipper.
Correct. And this is the stuff that drivers. I don't know how some drivers have such a horrible safety rating.
I'll be honest with you. Like, in a moment of truth, I don't know if I have the stomach for this long term. The brokerage thing. Like, there's going to have to get to a point where I can delegate some of these things.
Yeah.
Because the details are dirty.
Like,
it's hard to find somebody qualified. Like, I don't know if I can bring myself to load somebody that's in that position. But then again, you're tempted when you really need something moved.
Yeah, and you get to the point. Like, I've gotten to the point now where I basically you'll get to your customer. You'll get a good group of guys, right? And then you can go to your customer and say, hey, one of my guys can be there on Thursday. One of my guys can be there on this day. Are you willing to wait? Or is this something we can move then? But it is not easy. And people, that's what I'm saying. There is a ton of horrible drivers, horrible communicators that I get nervous. I mean, I do some of the stuff oversized. I'm lucky, but even some of my smaller stuff that might be 9 or 10 wide, and it's a new person, and then they got everything. It's like, oh man, is he going to make it? Is he going to do it? Dude, I have ulcers. I take ulcer medication. It's especially on some of the stuff I'm moving. It's stressful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's not as easy as people think.
Yeah, WCF Invader says I think a lot of these non-professional carriers are going to be passed up by professional carriers. That's what will cause the rebound, in my opinion. Want to bet a dinner on it? Well, here's the thing. If I win, I could put a hurting on you. I mean, I could not eat for a couple days and bankrupt you. So yeah, what the hell? What the hell? Friendly dinner.
All right, let's go ahead and screenshot that, please.
We'll do it. So we'll do it anyways. What the hell? And in regards to that, logic would tell you that the non-professionals will be passed up by the professionals, but the disruption in this industry, I think, has changed that a little bit. Whereas you got all these click and goes, AI, they're not necessarily checking on every load, if you're still qualified, if this or if that. So there's certain people that won't maintain their equipment. They don't give a damn about following the rules. They'll live and put their whole family in the truck and live on nothing. Where, maintaining your truck is expensive.
Right.
Following the rules is expensive. Doing things the right way is expensive. The professional carriers could very well be, passed up by the people that for some reason managed to skirt the rules for 10 years.
Yeah.
And the other people are priced right out. And the AI doesn't care or doesn't know. The click and goes don't care. They know that you clicked on a button and booked the load. The rest is a mystery to them.
Yeah. And I do remember, Mark, I remember speaking with you too. I'm kind of joking around. I think the situation is is there changes that we can make to improve things? Yes, I believe if we say, look, if you're a freight brokerage, because and they could do this because logistics is a part of the infrastructure of the country, right? You can't allow that to be. You can take control of that with the Defense Production Act, just like if drivers were to strike, they could they could do the Defense Production Act. One of the things that I really believe they need to do is say, look, if you're a freight broker, you have to be in this country. You have to be established in this country. You have to be in
Yes.
this, you have to have an LLC. You have to be in the United States.
You have to be able to be held accountable.
Correct. It protects
That's
our
what I'm saying,
national
like-
interests. I mean, you could legitimately sell that as protecting the security of the country because it's logistics, right?
I think that's one of the biggest problems in this industry now is the offshoring. I've gotten emails from carriers as recently as last week. A dude in Moldova, who even remembered Moldova was a country, wanted him to set up a brokerage and a carrier in this country. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. You obviously don't watch because you got the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Ethiopia, Estonia, Lithuania, several countries. I'm like, no, absolutely not. Don't even email
That
me ever.
right there would help immensely in trucking. Would be say you got to be in this country to have it, and you're supposed to because you're supposed to have a U.S. address. To be honest,
Yes.
but that would immensely help in regards to brokering and trucking. That's the push I would be doing. To be honest. I mean, you're getting a push for speed limiters and automatic braking systems. Why aren't you getting a push for establishing logistical companies in this country if we're at a possible threat of, China conflict at this point?
Because it's not about that. It's
Exactly.
it's just like it's not about safety. It's about control and money and whatever. It's
Correct. I mean,
it's
that's
not for us. Why are you letting FMCSA officials take bribes to smooth over people's safety scores? Why are you continuing to allow CDL schools after all these years allowed to sell CDLs to people with no testing or training? It continues to go on one after another, and they could stop it, and they don't.
how do you
Because
how do you pull doubles without a CDL?
yeah, I can't pull doubles without this. I have a CDL and I don't have the endorsement, and I can't do it. And I've been driving
Right.
for over 20 years. And you're going to let somebody last week was at the Fry later, jump in and pull a set of doubles? You're out of your damn mind.
I mean, I have my endorsement, but I don't. I can't believe they would be not have a CDL and pull doubles.
One needs no further proof than that. But I gotta skip over a few comments here. I'm way behind. Is Swift a good company to work for in times like these? I don't know anything about Swift, to tell you the truth. Hold on.
Why you do that? I think that any company that has direct customers would be a good place to if you needed to find a company that has direct customers in that type of situation. If they're just running spot market stuff, it's going to be tough. It's but if they have direct customers, it'd be a good spot to stop.
Yeah. Snorlord says Sage loves emails that look like this.
Dude, those are
I
awesome.
can't even read that. The brokers I work with regularly wouldn't work with me until I had 6 months in. Yeah, there's a string of them that'll take you from day one, but the better ones you're looking at least 6 months. There's a few of them that are 9 months or a year. Mark Cerrone says, Sage, you sound like a true broker.
I am.
Okay. Well, you are, yeah. You play the part. Do you drink alcohol at Wisconsin supper clubs? Not much of a drinker. Not much for. There's only one supper club I care to go to, and it's like once every 3-4 years. I'm not a spender. I look at the menu and think, let's just get the hell out of here. But I've been jonesing to go, so we're probably gonna have to go. So big companies got all the freight. Well, I mean, not necessarily. The contract, they got a lot of the contract freight. CDN says, I'll share info about Trello next week. I'll email you. It's a web-based software to keep your business organized. Okay. Excellent. Is it in
Unless
Sorry. Is it in English or Canadian?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I
had to.
DIY has notebooks. He's still keeping track with notebooks.
Oh, you don't see my files right here?
Yeah.
It's how it works. It's just how I work. I was
the same way. I just got a TMS because I hate it.
I do have a TMS. I do use TMS for the brokerage, but I still print everything out.
Yeah. I just got one because I hated TMSs.
Yeah. Mark Mailman says, channel member, thanks for all the great content. Just finished up in a heavy snowstorm here in Grand Rapids. Ooh,
Oof.
they're getting hit hard. They're getting hit hard.
Is that heading my way to Maine? I gotta check.
Yeah, Buffalo is supposed to get just hammered.
Yeah, because I'm from Buffalo. So I remember 98, we got like 8 feet.
Yeah, Jackknife says, I try to use LinkedIn. I have no idea what I'm doing. All I know is I posted a few things, looking professional, some pictures of loads I've done, the way my company. Yeah, I've recently signed up for LinkedIn. I don't have much on there yet, but I'm trying. What I'm using LinkedIn for is trying to establish contacts at certain companies.
Yeah, connecting is what LinkedIn's best for.
There's one company I'm hot after, but I can't seem to get anybody to care. Motion is better than Sage. Just saying. Oh man.
Yeah.
Under the bus you go.
We'll have to get. Yeah. Well, she's got an OnlyFans too, so he might have found that.
Oh jeepers! Is that how you make your money?
Yeah,
Cash is king. Thank you again for the super chat. The key to this market is don't haul cheap freight. The key to this market is to be able to haul freight profitably cheaper than your competition. Mic drop. Boom. There we go. Only way that could be better is if it was attached to a super chat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people over the last couple of years that got in set themselves up for failure and they didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Because they set things up to run on $5 a mile. You can't. Jaquan says $3 a mile is still good. Yeah, I mean, a guy should be able to make plenty of money at $3 a mile. Everything else being right, you keep your deadhead down and get your fuel mileage and your expenses under control.
You may hit my light.
Yeah. Mark Cerrone says, Sage. It won't be long now. TikTok. All right. Sage, you're on TikTok?
No, I have like 2 videos. I don't do it for my phone though.
Okay. Music City Transport, I disagree. The key to this market is to figure out how to make a profit from cheap freight. It's all cheap. I think that's what he was saying. I think you're saying the same thing, but I could have misunderstood. Gary Bates, the big megas are winning with tax advantage, treatment, and financial engineering. Well, they're also publicly traded. So when they need money, when they're in a pinch, they can go raise money. Like we can't. We need money. Let's just do a public offering.
Right. That's the other thing people don't understand.
The rules, you can't be like a mega till you're a mega. They do things a little different.
Right.
Shannon Thomas says it's simple to me. If you like what people in other professions make, don't hate, go do that then. Absolutely right. This is a free market. Deal with it or call Wine 11. I like that.
Nice.
Wine 11.
I'm gonna have to tell Fall about that one.
Yeah, you can be the man. Would you be the man or beat the man? I can't remember how it goes. To beat the man, you got to be the man. But some people will be humbled when you try it. It's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah, that's pretty much all.
Being a broker isn't hard, right? Like getting the bond and the insurance and setting everything. What's hard is
everything else.
Customers, like getting okay. Anybody can open a brokerage. Probably 90% of them never haul a load. The lady at the factoring company told me that. She's like, probably 95% of the people that set up an account here never fund. They never haul their first load.
Correct, because that setup is easy. It's establishing and understanding what you're actually doing with a customer and what your actual goal is, and that process is what they don't understand. It's not just get a customer, throw it on the load board, because that's what the customer doesn't want from you. Well, they don't want that from you. They want you to have some type of network that their load doesn't hit that board. So that load hits a carrier that you've probably spoken with, who's going to give you a realistic rate, not that spot rate. And that's why they're hiring you. Holy crap. Mark just sent you some money.
Mark Cerrone is back in the mix here with a $1.99 super chat. Man, I appreciate that. You're too kind, man. Long time supporter of the channel. Alex Express, $1 super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I gotta find my way where I left off. Oh, Jackknife TV says I should have called up Sage if I knew he didn't flatbed. It oversized that right down.
Yeah, text me. You can text me or email me. That's pretty much 99% of what I do. And it's
Mark Cerrone says, "Man, Sage, you're amazing."
Thank you, brother.
What's amazing is that background you figured out there.
Yeah,
I'm having some troubles here with mine. I turn it on and it flickers.
your camera
Let's
flickers.
see. No, the background. Oh, now it's not flickering. It was flickering all morning.
Sometimes you might have to restart your computer. I don't know how much RAM you have, but sometimes it rams out and you just have to restart it before you go live.
Yeah, you might. Is that English? What you just said?
It's just restart your computer before you go live.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'll explain that to me off the air. I don't.
Okay.
You're obviously speaking some foreign language.
Sorry.
You tell me to do that, I'm going to start hitting the screen with my stapler and like, why
It's,
the hell isn't this working?
it's Canadian.
Yeah. Nick F says, I'm just glad I am where I am, still making 2K a week gross. Is 3 weeks on, 1 week off. Company W2 was considering owner op during this crazy rates. Glad I didn't do it now. Yeah, I mean, you're probably in a really good position now. Trucker Carlson, DIY's got more miles at the Golden Corral than you got in Nebraska.
Oh, come on now, as Cash would say.
Mark Cerrone says, Sage, I've been your fan for years, dude. You don't remember talking to me a couple years ago. We were talking brokering. I decided against it. I give all my direct freight to Echo, and they broker. Okay.
Yeah, basically, me and him had a conversation, I believe, about some carriers, Russian carriers in Chicago. See, I remember the conversation.
That's a long conversation. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
A lot of them with a lot of MC numbers. Trucking with MC in the house. Appreciate you coming in. The loads to me kind of direct. I know the numbers. I say TikTok to you because of disclosure. LOL, it's coming.
Yeah, okay. I'm not worried about it, to be honest. I'm okay. I mean, for me, I deal with the same carriers every time, and pretty consistent. And they've always said that to me, it's, hey, I don't care what you get, you're damn worth it. You know what I mean? So when your carriers are saying I'm worth it, I'm not. They don't care what I make. Those are the carriers I'm going to keep going to, and the ones that don't, I don't have to. I don't have to if I don't want to. Right?
Are you just gonna sit here all day stealing people's taglines, telling us you know what you're worth?
Oh yeah, yeah, pretty much. He won't come on for an interview. I tried. I don't know. He doesn't like me.
Yeah, who does? I mean, honestly.
That's actually true. That's a good point.
Mark Cerrone agrees. If you're a broker or carrier, you should be in the U.S. Yeah, I mean, even if you're okay, so broker, one thing, no equipment here, whatever. But there's carriers that I have no U.S. presence. You know, they have the official address for the DOT, but how do you road test a driver? How do you check to make sure your equipment is being maintained?
Yeah, see,
I mean, it's insane. It is insane that is not an issue.
Did something change with the FMCSA that you're required to have a address so that DOT can show up if they need to?
Yeah, I mean,
isn't that
when you apply for the authority, you can't even use a post office box. It has to be a physical address.
I swore that you had to have, because I had a buddy of mine who was an FMCSA inspector for both the state and federally, and I asked him, and he said, "No, you're required to have it, because if I got to show up, you better be there with your paperwork, and so I can either inspect your equipment or inspect your office or check your paperwork."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're doing it. They're breaking the law.
They don't. I mean, to get an on-site audit, that's a bad boy audit. I mean, a new entrant audit isn't even on-site anymore. Mine was. I had an on-site audit.
Mine was an on-site.
Yeah. Tell you what, that's intimidating.
Yeah.
Robert B says the government don't care who's hauling the freight. They just want it hauled. 2021 was proof of that. Yeah. Sure. A whole lot of that's another reason in itself why no more regulations. The ones we have aren't enforced, man.
Correct.
There's no agency to even enforce half of them, and make all the new ones you want. They're not going to be enforced either. So why? And
I don't need regulation. I just need brokers to do their jobs and carriers to do their jobs and let us handle that, right? But if you and the only way it's going to get fixed is going to be lawsuits. It's going to be lawsuits from carriers that wreck, that had bad service things, and brokers get hammered with nuclear verdicts. There you go. Here's your money.
Yeah, I have a problem with that Robinson one. That's not. How can you be sued? You never had possession of the freight. Freight was not on your equipment. You're a middleman transaction.
Yeah, and the problem is, and this is a fine line, and I tried to explain this. Like, I cannot. We've talked about this. I cannot act in a supervisory role to your company.
Right.
Okay? I cannot do that, or I become a partnering agent.
Mhm.
Okay. So once I start to talk to your driver, once I start to interact with him rather than you, I'm now a partnering agent. And that's where that line gets crossed. And it's not like I'm not checking your, when I say, okay, why don't you do this or why don't you do that? Once I start making decisions for another business and I'm not in a supervisory role, I have to be placed into that role now. That's why I don't talk to drivers. I have to talk to your carrier. I can't negotiate rates with a driver.
Mhm.
That's a supervisory role. That's the responsibility of the carrier, not the driver.
Right.
And that's where they get themselves in trouble.
Yeah. Mark Cerrone says spot market is overflow, drop loads. How can you complain if the rates are low? It is overflow. It
Right.
is. Music City Transport says a small one truck owner operator. Any tips on finding decent small brokerages? Yeah, I mean, I like ones that are part of a carrier.
Yeah,
I really like a small carrier with a brokerage, man. They
absolutely.
they pay attention. They know what they're talking about. They know their freight. You know, you
Right.
call Swift and asked about their, yeah, they're a carrier with a brokerage. They don't know anything about their freight. They're just they're
Well, it's like
just an agent. You know,
it's like
that's gonna.
me or you. They're going like I did. I treat my drivers right because you are going face to face with my customer,
Yeah.
me personally. And there's nobody that's just here to answer the phone. It's me, and so I make sure that my drivers, I pay well enough that for them to keep quiet, for them to be happy, for them to they're like, phew, we're going in, but that's my mindset. So sometimes working with a broker that's just the guy because you're going to be going to his customer, you're going to do better than just going to a big one.
Yeah. Yep. Jackknife says, I wish when rates were $5 to $6 a mile from Chicago to Jersey, that would have had my authority and be able to contract it for $3 a mile. You know, a lot of people did that. That's what the big carriers did right there. They said, look, you're
Yeah.
paying $6 a mile for this. We'll contract it for $3.75, $4 a mile, and they jumped on it. Unfortunately, now the shippers are coming back and say, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. You
Yeah.
need you need to rebid that freight.
Yeah,
But hey,
that's over budget. Well, let me
yeah,
ask you a quick question. Do your drivers do your drivers self dispatch and negotiate rates?
I have two of them that I allow to do it because I've trained them to do it over the
Mhm.
last couple of years. They've earned the right to do it, but it's still like I sign the rate confirmation. I do. They can talk and agree to the load, but I set everything up.
Yeah. See, even I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I know.
For me, if a driver calls and says this, my first thing is like, that's fine. Now have your carrier call me. Have the owner, have the somebody from the a party of the
Hmm.
carrier has to contact me other than you because can I see a power of attorney in that truck? Can I see but that's me, right? A lot of brokers don't do that, but for me, I don't want that supervisory role because I have long time ago, I had a guy take a load and the guy said he taught me a lesson back then. This was probably 12 years ago. And he said, who that for you to talk to my driver without talking to me, the carrier? Who the hell are you?
Hmm.
And it's that sunk in for me from that point on. He's like, and he was absolutely right. He's like, we're not taking this load. He's not, I don't care what that driver said. Who the fuck are you to talk to my driver about money or anything else?
He's right.
And because I said, well, I don't care. We're not taking it. He was wrong. I'll handle him. Now I'm talking to you. And I'm like, wow, that okay. You're right, and he was right. And from that point on, I said, you know what, that was proper business back then. He handled it proper business. I got yelled at, so everybody now heard it here on DIY.
Shame on you.
I got bitch slapped by a carrier about 12 years ago.
As you should regularly.
Absolutely.
Oh, Hot Seat says sending you Quick Trip vibes. I can see it in your future. Ooh, love me some Quick Trip. Love to
Right.
get that Quick Trip contract. I bid on some Quick Trip freight and did not get it.
Mm. Do they tell you don't, or they just ignore you?
They just ignore you.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love that.
W9, please.
He wants a W-9 for the money that basically he sent, I guess.
All right, not a problem. Or
Thanks.
you can go to your Google page and print out the receipt
Yeah,
just for what, education or consulting.
yeah.
There you go. Samir, any update on the Max coming up? Fuel mileage, issues, wins? Like them. Really like them.
Mhm.
Especially the price point that they're at. Only thing is the fuel mileage. They're not a Freightliner for fuel mileage. They're better than your typical hood truck.
Why? What are
Not
Max at? I thought the Max were at like 9.
No. Well, maybe the new ones, maybe the Anthems. Ours, the best ones are just a little over 7.
Mm.
Summer, winter time. They fall off pretty good in the winter. I'll say that.
I wonder
Excuse me.
why. Why did they fall off in the winter?
I mean, well, before that, it's the same engine as the Volvo has in it, but different programming, different electronics. I don't know for the life of me why why Mac won't switch over to the Volvo programming. The Volvos get much better fuel economy.
That's weird.
So, there's that. Other than that, nothing out of the ordinary for maintenance. One of them I think didn't get maintained well before we bought it. The other ones have been just nothing outside of regular routine, starters, alternators, water pumps. We did have to put a transmission in one. That's the one I think was probably neglected. Yeah, nothing, no overhauls, nothing, no majors other than that transmission.
And when are we running the hood truck?
Whenever I get to it. It's not going to be anytime soon. Too much in the works here. And I've been having some things going on even just outside of trucking. So Cool Trucking says I'm still doing okay. The Democrats hate to see that. I think I'm going to become a farmer. The thing that isn't going to be hurt during this time. I don't know. I got 2 brothers that are dairy farmers and they're getting crushed.
Yeah, I know a guy that's a farmer and he's getting hammered too.
They're absolutely getting crushed. It was hard to even do field work this year because of fuel prices.
Yeah.
Trucking with Cliff, low truck payment and a paid off mortgage and no vehicle payments have made it bearable with these fuel rates. Although I have to say I haul power only for a deck customer. Yeah, I mean, that'll help you out in a whole lot of times. Ed Cora says, I got more miles waiting on grandma to merge than you do learning how to turn off that computer. You're probably right. I hate computers.
I tried to tell you how to live stream with. Maybe I could have spoke to Cash. Maybe I should talk to Cash instead. I think I gave the information. You guys wanted to live stream on each other's channel. I told them how to do it, and I think I spoke to the wrong person.
Yeah, I probably wrote it down here somewhere on one of my 1,000 sticky notes I have all over the wall.
Yeah.
Where'd I go here? Mark says they stay alive until DOT comes and then they out of service and they turn in one of the other MC numbers. Yes,
Yeah.
that is the Russian Chicago way, and it irritates the hell out of me.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yes, and that remember a few years ago when they said we're going to make it harder for people to, when they dirty up their MC to go open another one. They did not do a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
They can run an MC number into the ground and then just switch everything over to the other one. And the newest, latest, and greatest is some super company out of Chicago, right? How many MC numbers are there? I mean, they we're going to make that harder to do, and then nothing changes. So why any more new rules? It's not going to change anything. We can get around anything. CDN. What about drivers who self-dispatch under another carrier? Okay, we talked about that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Music City says, I'll send a carrier packet to both of you. I wear collar shirts, boots, and I don't smell like feet. Oh.
Yeah, if you're open deck. If you're open deck, reach out.
Fit in. Yeah, I don't have any open deck freight at this moment. Hopefully someday in the future, but well, I'll take one if you want to send it. Sage definitely has it.
Yeah.
Andrew says the treatment that they use to winterize the fuel causes the fuel mileage to drop also. Yes, and it loses BTUs. There's less BTUs in blended fuel. And the cold air, is not as conducive to aerodynamics, and diesels work more efficiently at a higher temperature, and all kind. Your lubricants get cold. Ed Cora says, "What is your take on prices so high, but we're all getting crushed?"
Thought on prices so high?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because we're probably talking about the spot market. and spot market doesn't care about fuel or inflation or any of this stuff. It's purely supply and demand, and the supply of trucks is extremely high right now, and
Yeah, 'cause
demand is low. I mean, we realistically need like probably 250,000 trucks to fall out of the spot market to make a difference.
yeah, and
Would be my estimation.
somebody who mentioned, and that's going to happen. I just posted something on my community post from on there that basically it's going to be rough, and your next couple months are going to be rough until like March, and then it's going to probably come back. Listen, we had a bullwhip effect from China, right? So this bullwhip eventually levels out. But we had a major bullwhip, and I believe, I mean, I could get into this in your channel, but I think it was done on purpose. But either way, now they're trying to level that bullwhip out, because remember, if prices go up for you and you start charging $5 a mile again, well, the cost of your son's sneakers are going to go up. The cost of your grocery bills are going to go up. So you really don't get a raise when prices go up, because costs go up, and unfortunately, that's what drivers.
That's why a higher minimum wage doesn't work. Also,
Correct.
So you were watching earlier when somebody said, "Hey, what about end of the year, first quarter?" I
Yeah.
laid out my case of why I don't think it's going to get better. So
Yep.
everybody knows you're Doctor Doom.
I am. I am Doctor.
So
I'm the Grim Reaper. I am.
make your case for it without going like, we don't need to go into too far about the
Yeah.
currencies and the
Yeah. All
new
right.
world
Well,
order
let's
and the
do
governments and
over
this and
here.
that.
Make sure all right. We're gonna do it then. We're gonna give the info here. We're gonna give it properly.
All right.
Here we give the Doctor Doom properly. All right. So we have a couple things going on. So I don't see, and I'm going to be straightforward, unless we go to some type of conflict with another country, I don't see anything pushing us into getting those prices back up. We had a bullwhip effect from China. They shut down. We shut down because if we would have stayed open, we would have ran out of stuff. So our only response was the shutdown, and basically stayed shut down to try to protect this inflationary, basically economy attack that from China. Well, we reached that high peaks, and now we're going down to the bottom here, of course, of the low of freight, and we're pulling back. So here's what's actually going on, just so everybody knows, and you can see this and stuff like that. We were a just-in-time logistics country, right? We dealt with just-in-time freight. Well, we're now changing that business model because we're decoupling from China. So we're trying to find alternate places to have things done. Vietnam, India, just whatever, right? But they don't have the manufacturing that China has. So they can't produce as fast and as much as China could. So we're now going to a hybrid just-in-time storage business model. So now you're seeing more warehouses being built. You're seeing more add-ons at Walmart and Home Depots are putting add-ons, because it's going to kind of be a hybrid slash storage warehouse type logistical move right now. So what that kind of means is, as warehouses get built, customers don't have to move those goods so fast. They can hold them a little bit longer, and that's where AI comes in. So when the AI comes in and says, okay, don't move it this week, move it next week, so store it a little bit longer. So this is where the AI comes in with the warehousing, so they can determine when's the best time to ship that freight, because of supply and demand and fuel costs and trucks in the area and geofencing and things like that. So I don't see prices jumping back up, because when they did jump up, that was a problem. That was a major problem, and it's the job of big businesses to fix these problems. You can't just let the water leak out of the dam and have it happen over and over and over again. So now they're going to something basically saying, look, we can't let this happen again. And they're trying to do that by putting up warehouses, building extensions, and being able to store some of this stuff, rather than just have to move it the minute it comes off the dock.
Yeah.
So that's the Grim Reaper sage.
I would say you brought up, military conflict.
Yeah.
Normally that would spur, transportation stuff. Supplies
Yes.
need to be moved and goods, which would spike prices up. I think this time, it does spike prices up, but I don't think it does any good, because the reaction of everything else will just
Correct.
spike right along with it,
Correct.
and eventually that freight will dry up too, and then
Correct.
we're stuck with these new higher inflated prices, even worse than they were before.
Yeah, and that's what people understand. Listen, you have mathematics and you have economics. Economics is basically based on feelings, what people think is going to happen. That's kind of how economics works. And like
Forecast.
forecast and things like that, right? So it's not as simple as, hey, it's simple math. So you kind of have to look at it as pricing goes up and there's more demand for stuff. Well, capitalism, you start charging more, and the price of your tires goes up, the price of your fuel goes up, the price of your parts go up, a lot of stuff goes up because, again, the manufacturing this is why people are like, we need to move all manufacturing back to the United States and not work with, well, yeah, that won't work because we can't afford to have all manufacturing here, unfortunately, right? You're getting some stuff from Walmart, you're buying those $10 t-shirts because they're not made here.
There's a balance in that. We need more of it because we can't survive on just being a service economy either.
Correct. So the stuff that we need to bring back is the intellectual property that we own and keep that here. The stuff that actually we're giving away, like if you're building chips for Apple, you shouldn't be doing that in China. I don't care. And because those same chips are going into missiles, those same things. And, that's the type of stuff that's like, no, you stay here. But that's just, I don't run the government, and
this is going to be hard. Yeah, this is going to be hard for people to accept or understand. But I believe if you go back, I don't know if it was in a video with you or one with Paul, where I believe I said that with all these price hikes and this runaway freight rates and this, that eventually in the long term we will be worse off for it.
Yeah.
And now right here we are living it.
Yep.
Shop rates are now $250 an hour. A tire is $700. Parts you can't get at any price. But freight rates are down. These other things are here to stay.
Yeah.
All this other stuff is here to stay. And now we have to live with that despite freight rates coming back down. If we go through another increase like that, that's going to be harmful too. Don't get me wrong. I like the money. The money was great. I took it.
Right.
Going to take it again if it happens again. But we're going to end up worse off for it then too.
Right. And and understand, when we go into a more of a warehouse business model rather than the just in time, warehousing is more expensive. So it's going to cost more for the goods because you got to pay for the warehouse, you got to pay for the insurance, you got to pay for the workers, you got to pay for the water, you got to pay for. So that's where just in time is a cheaper one. But we basically learned that we can't trust the company that we were so dedicated to, which was China, because of that. And like I said, we're trying to go into more of a hybrid, some just in time, some other countries, but other countries don't have the manufacturing plants. So we're putting up a ton of warehouses to try to be able to keep costs down so we don't have to ship them. Everything doesn't have to ship just in time. They can kind of hold them for a little longer to get the better price.
Yes. Yes. Where are we at here? Baylock says you just bought a Snickers and a Coke, 0 for $4.49. Yeah, and that's here to stay. I mean,
yeah,
some prices usually don't ever come back down again.
And that's another thing I want to talk about too. Here's the thing: I remember listening that wages. People think that rates are like wages, right? Wages normally don't ever come down, right? When they just lay you off, right? Mm-hmm. Nobody comes in and says, "Well, you're making $15 an hour now. We're going to lower it to 12." What? You know what I mean? That doesn't. Freight rates are not wages.
No.
And that's, I think I remember hearing this when people were saying that, well, they're up there this high, they're going to stay this high, they're never going to come down. They're not wages. Wages might not go down, but freight rates are just prices bidding on jobs and contracts. Right. That used to confuse me.
Well, it goes back to the one thing of this misunderstanding and not being well-rounded.
Right.
So, Jaquan says, you're right, because my friend works for one of the biggest commercial real estate companies in the world in Houston, and they're definitely buying up and building warehouses just for that reason.
Yeah. We're switching back.
Yeah. Yeah. They'll get a grip one way or another. It might take a while. Probably not. But the resources and the technology is on somebody else's side, not on us. If you're a small guy with one truck, whatever, 5 trucks, 10 trucks, we don't have the resources that it takes to beat out a DuPont or whatever. Right. I mean, come on. Who do you think's going to win, right?
Not it.
We're their puppet. And when
Yeah.
you really look at the bigger picture, now you can choose to participate or not. That's the the freedom and the rights that we have, but um, it's what it is. Oh, okay. You posted a link to your
Yeah.
channel. Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah. Somebody asked to post. I posted it out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's where we are. But the point of this whole thing today is um, give yourself the best chance to
Yeah.
succeed. Because what some of these things that are happening are like, and you want to get paid the same as everybody else. This is what you're
Right.
doing, but you want to get paid the same as everybody else. That's my point. So
Yeah.
give yourself the best chance to succeed. Hell, get some training. Take a class, man. You can listen to some books going down the road, man. The resources available to us right now are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Did not take full advantage of all of it. Hey,
In
that's
2000, just so everyone knows, and this is all because I know you're probably trying to wind it down a little bit, but in 2008, the same thing happened to me, and I had to make a decision. And the best thing you can do is learn, if you want to stay in this industry, is learn this industry from top to bottom. That's what saved me. That's what got me out of being dead ass broke, like $11 in the bank, behind on everything but my house, sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Is I just said, I'm going to learn absolutely everything about this industry and I'm going to be smarter with it. And I'm going to try to outsmart people in this industry to try to move up and get customers and do this. And that's what I did.
mhm.
But that's the best thing right now for you to truly make it is you have to be smarter than other people in this industry. So you'll have to learn the industry from top to bottom. And if you're not understanding it, or you're just kind of sitting there saying, well, you guys should show me what you make, or we should strike. Well, then you're not learning the industry. You're not learning the industry.
Yeah, yeah. CDN's my crazy idea to bring efficiency to the spot market. Load boards add a section called volume or spot contract, but requires application from broker and carrier to enter. Broker approves loads, carrier approves. Oh, they cut you off there. Uh, DAT kind of has that. Like on the broker side, you can see, depending on the level that you pay for, you can see the average rate from shipper to broker, and then the average rate from broker to carrier.
Right.
I don't think you can get that on the carrier side, but they could still apply for that account and pay for it. And then you also have things like freight waves, sonar.
Mm-hmm.
There's numerous things out there like that. They all cost money, as they should, because if it's valuable information, it
Right.
should doesn't need to be free. Um, oh, Fate Trucking posted his link. Everybody check out. Hey, we're close to getting Fate Trucking monetized.
How,
Everybody, if you could
what's
jump
he
over there, and he's at 1,100 subscribers, but he's short like 300 hours of watch time. So if
make
everybody
this?
could go over there and hey, just click on a video, or not a short, but a video or a live stream, and maybe watch it start to finish. Maybe we can get him monetized. He's worked hard at it. He deserves it, and he deserves it just for the beating he takes in our live streams all the time.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
Yeah. Yeah, Music City Transport. You're right. About rates and such. So we're gonna. Anything else you want to get into here today? We're gonna. I gotta go walk my dog. She's on schedule here. She's on point. 4 o'clock exactly.
No, I was no, I said basically said it. Just educate yourself, learn the industry, learn business, take a business class, learn business 101. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But you've just
Yep.
got to be better at what you do.
Yep. Here's a link to Jackknife TV's channel. The CDN, he doesn't have a channel, does he?
No, he uses all of ours.
That's okay.
But I don't mind.
Typical Canadian, just piggybacking off the U.S.
Exactly. What do you expect?
Just kidding. I kind of wish he did have a channel. I know he probably doesn't have time, but he puts out a lot of good information.
No, he does. I like having him on, and we usually go back and forth because we don't agree on everything, me and him. But it's good. Like I'm bad. I don't know what he's doing. I'm supposed to be bad cop, and he's supposed to be good cop, and now he's turning into bad cop. So I don't know what's going on here.
He's good Mountie. You're bad cop. He's good Mountie.
Yeah, good Mountie. I'm sorry.
No, I don't. Have I ever had him on my channel? I don't think so. I probably should. Probably should. There's not. It's not always right and wrong. There's just so many different. Like you do different, very different things in the same
Right.
industry. You do oversize.
Correct.
I don't know if he does oversize and all, but I know he
Yeah, he
hauls
does.
a lot of straight freight.
Yep.
And there's no one right way to do anything. Like you said,
No,
you ever talk to the driver. Some places aren't too concerned about it, and hey, until they have a problem, they won't be. I get that.
no, and we talk back and forth. We've texted each other. We've, I've, hooked each other up with info and stuff like that. So we like each other, or at least I like him, and he's faking it like a Canadian, like most do. Yeah, we like you, United States. We like you. They really don't. I've played hockey
Oh,
up here.
yeah, CDN. He was talking about for spot loads. He wants it for brokers to post loads, but carriers only willing to commit to a lane will see these loads like a premium load board. There is somebody doing something like that. It's called Emerge. So here, if I go here, let me go back and I'll share my screen again for a second. I hate them. They're hard to get paid from. I've used Emerge
Hey, I'm
a
gonna
few
jump
times.
off here. I gotta take off real quick.
Okay.
So thanks for having me on. Thank you for everybody, and
Yeah.
please like and
Oops.
subscribe to his channel and my channel. That way you
Yeah.
can drop $199 on my channel.
Oops.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Yep. See ya. Now I done screwed up. Did I lose everything here? What the heck did I do? Well, at any rate, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to stop doing it. Anyway, Emerge. They fancy themselves a technology like that. Where if I go on here right now, they have 1,850 open lanes that can be contracted. So they don't officially call themselves a broker. They call themselves a marketplace. They are a broker. They're absolutely a broker. And you can go on here and bid on lanes that you can buy the lane basically. I like they're a bottom feeder if you ask me, but had some problems with using their service, so I don't anymore. So there is some people trying to do that in that market. Okay, yep. CDN does just general freight. Okay. Oh, Adco didn't see if he was worthy. Oops, you're a little late. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I got some stuff I got to do before the end of the day here. Everybody, thanks for coming in. Yeah, give yourself the best chance you can to succeed. Don't get caught up in the lowest form of communication. Basically, I mean, some of them you might as well be biting on a rock and banging a stone against a cave wall for the level of communication. It's just ridiculous. So, oh yeah, Melissa McDonald. What about Freight Connect? Yeah, great resource. Great resource for some training. Absolutely, and I got to get Paul back on. We haven't done a thing in a while. I know he is super busy, as we predicted he would be when freight tanked. We even said, hey, people are going to start calling you once freight tanks, and you're going to be super busy, and it's true. So yeah, definitely reach out fr8connect.com if you want to get some education there or need help reaching out for some direct freight. And everybody take care. We will see you next time.